Greetings and salutations, everyone. It is Kenjiro Jinkoto, aka KJ. And today we are going to do something extremely different. I've been thinking about this for quite some time now. Back in the 80s, I had a friend who is no longer among us, unfortunately. He had some substance abuse problems and he is no longer here. But I will tell you, this dude was my best friend, and he exposed me to thrash, to speed metal. In fact, my first initial exposure was going with him to see Megadeth for the Peace Sells tour with Overkill opening up. It was for the Taking Over album with Bobby Blitz Ellsworth, Dee Dee Verney on bass, Rat Skates on drums, and Bobby Gustafson on guitar. And of course, the lineup for Megadeth, this was the Peace Sells But Who's Buying tour. It was at the Lakewood, Ohio Fantasy Theater back in 1987. And of course, the lineup was none other than Garth Samuelson, Dave Ellefson, Dave Mustaine, and Chris Poland. So, what we are going to do today, as I said, will be extremely different from everything else that we've done as far as instruction guitar videos. This one is how to play thrash, speed metal guitar, and death metal guitar, part 1. Why? Because we're going to cover a lot of information and material as far as the guitar work is concerned, and I want to go through a lot of my favorite albums, which I used to have on vinyl and cassette, and now I'm trying to re-obtain everything that I had on CD and DVD. So first and foremost, let me make mention of one of my utterly most favorite bands. This is live at Wacken Open Air 2007, Overkill. Phenomenal. All right. Then we have the documentary, Get Thrashed. Awesome movie. Gotta see it. Killer. One of my utterly most favorite speed metal bands ever. I've seen them twice for the New Order tour with Sanctuary. And the second time was with Fate's Warning at Peabody's in Cleveland, Ohio. This is Testament live in London. Of course, the original lineup, Chuck Billy, alright, Alex Skolnick on guitar, Eric Peterson on guitar, Greg Christian on bass, and Louis Clemente on drums. And another phenomenal live Overkill DVD. This is an amazing show right here. I highly recommend it. Alright, now we'll just cover a few of the albums, and we'll do a second part to this so I can cover more of the albums. But this band from Switzerland, Coroner, with Tommy T. Barron on guitar, Marty Mark on drums, and Ron Royce on bass and vocals. This is the album Grin. Killer album. If you don't have it, pick it up. You will not regret it if you are a speed metal fan. And my initial exposure to Coroner, the Punishment for Decadence album, when they played Masked Jackal on Headbangers Ball. Killer album. This is the gold edition. I just picked these up at Record Den. And I highly recommend you guys try to find these. They are rare. Alright? Phenomenal album. And The only other gold disc edition, limited edition they put out was the RIP album. Again, Coroner. Killer band, killer guitar. And Dark Angel. Darkness Descends. This is the one with Merciless Death. Again, I heard this back in 87 when I was in high school on Z-Rock. Woke me up in the middle of the night, dead of night, like 3 o'clock in the morning. I heard that track and I was just blown away. Had to buy it right away. Deicide, Glenn Benton, and the Hoffman Brothers, Feasting the Beast. These were their demos. This is a rare one. And then Deicide, their debut album that came out after Feasting the Beast. Possessed with Larry Lalonde, Seven Churches. Awesome album. Possessed at the Gates and the Eyes of Horror. For those of you that do not know, the second album that's on here, because it's a 2-disc set, Eyes of Horror was produced by Joe Satriani. Why? Because Larry Lalonde was a Joe Satriani student. And another great film to see, Murder in the Front Row. This is like the entire history of thrash, speed metal, right here. Phenomenal movie. I highly recommend it. Alright? If you guys have not seen it, you got to get that. Also, another one that I really love, Voivod, Dimension Hatrus. This is the one with Tribal Convictions, and it also has Astronome Domine, the remake of the Pink Floyd track, which I think they did a much better job. And then, of course, this would have to be my most definitive speed metal album that I like best and most of all, the Peace Sells But Who's Buying album. This is the box set, of course, you know. For those of you that do not have it, I highly recommend it. It is very killer. Alright? And we will dispense with that until the second part. And I will go into more of this towards the end of the video. But for right now, we're going to start covering how to play thrash. Alright? So give me one moment. I will grab my guitar. And we will start going right into this, right off the rip, alright? Hang on one second, everyone. I will be right back. Alright, I am back, everyone. Let me give you my low E so you guys can tune up to me. First thing we're going to do is we are going to bar with our pinky the A string and the D string on the 4th fret and then the 3rd fret. So we're going to go like this. Then we're going to take our middle finger and put it on the 3rd fret of the A string and our index finger on the D string on the 2nd fret. Like so. Now we're going to do something similar yet different. We are going to bar the low E and the A string here on the 3rd fret to the 2nd fret. All right, and then we're going to use our index finger on the 1st fret of the low E. All right, and we're going to bar the A and the D with our ring finger on the 3rd fret. So it should sound like this, right? I'm sorry, let me rephrase this. We are going to bar with the index finger on the low E and the A string, and the ring finger will be on the D on the 3rd fret. I'm sorry, everyone. Okay, so we want to bar the E and the A on the 1st fret and use the ring finger on the D string. So once again, it should sound like this. From there, we're going to slide up right here to the 7th and the 9th fret of the A and the D string, okay? So that should sound like this. So after that slide up, now we're going to start pedaling on that low E. So the picking is thus. And just so that you know my settings and my amplification, I am using the Roland Cube. The setting is on the rectifier setting. The gain is all the way up. The treble is all the way up. The delay is all the way up. And I have, of course, my new Ibanez GRG 131DX with the infinity pickups. The setting is on the bridge pickup. All right? So, once again, once we finish this chord right here, and you slide up, now it's going to be ride that low E string. One thing about playing thrash or speed metal, it will improve your alternate picking without question. If you work on this stuff, you will become phenomenal with your picking, trust me. Again, it's going to be looking like this. Until we do some faster stuff, and that will be coming. All right, but we'll do this progressively, one step at a time, all right? So again, right after this. Doing there, guys, is I'm going from the 7th and the 9th up to the 8th and the 10th, and then back down, right? So I'm going. Keep this foremost in mind when it comes to the speed metal and the thrash and even the death metal. those half steps with the fifth chords, incredible. And also, just so you know, the fifth chords, these power chords as they are referred to, which are fifth chords, they come from classical music. Bear that in mind, all right? Now we get into some of the faster picking. All chromatic pattern, starting from the 15th to the 14th to the 13th to the 12th, right? So like this. And we're muting. Muting meaning we're using the palm of our hand, right? So what I did there is so I'm going from 15 to 14 to 13 to 12, then 10, 9, 7, and then 5, 3, and then 2. Okay? And then we're gonna do some hammer-ons and pull-offs with that as well. Let me show you what I mean. So the pull-offs, we're using the same exact notes of this. And we're barring the low E and the A on the 3rd fret, the low E and the A on the 2nd fret, and the low E and the A on the 1st fret, and then we're going to go right to an E power chord. Open E, index finger on the A string on the 2nd fret. Okay, so then it's going to look like this. Everyone, this is going to do it for part 1. Stick with me with part 2 where it's going to get very killer. This is just the intro, and I will be back shortly. Have a great one. Don't forget to hit that notification bell, like, share, and subscribe, and I will be back in a flash with some more thrash. Have a great one.